been to Wanuskewin before?
No, it's my first time.
Really? Yeah. I've been in the valley for about 5 years now, but my very first visit to Wanuskewin, to this place, I was, I think, 6. I was a student, and we came, and I don't remember walking or anything. Instead, what I remember is watching a dancer explaining their dance of powwow and having that moment of like, wow, this is me, this is who I am. And
so you felt your culture, your roots, yeah?
Yeah. So I just love the valley and the stories that are here. And I'm excited to share with you some of the stories that are in the plants and in the land. But people have lived in the valley for over 6,000 years.
6,000.
Yeah, which
Great.
is crazy. We know that people were pulled to the valley. There's like a spiritual sense to it. And there's also the land is like a refuge. Mm-hmm. There was always so much medicinal and edible plants here. And there's 2 types of water sources here, so 2 rivers. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's a valley in flatland Saskatchewan. So people were just loving this space, and I'm excited to tell you the stories of it all.
I know that in Ukraine also, I mean, during our history, people try to settle near the river because of source not only water, but also fish. I'm about food, and you can grow a lot. I mean, agriculture field, close to the water source.
Yes. Our history is like we were nomadic, and people think when they hear nomadic, they think like, oh, they're just walking aimlessly. Mm-hmm. But we had different like berry picking spots almost. Like we knew where to get certain foods, so we would like walk and migrate between those spots in different seasons. Right now is August, so if I wanted a specific thing like chokecherries, which is a berry that we like to crush up and mix with fats from animals, usually bison fat.
Chokecherries.
Chokecherries, yeah. I'll point some out today, but they're like beautifully abundant right now. But if I tried to come here in like September or even October, they would still be around, but not perfect. So I know when to travel to the valley to get certain berries. It's just we never planted anything. Instead, we just traveled around to places that already had it.
What about mushrooms? Are there any mushrooms?
I have always wanted to know. There's usually mushrooms in some areas. Most of the mushrooms that I'm familiar with are chanterelles, I want to say, but they're up north. They're further north than here.
No, I've never heard this name. Yeah. I know that our nations, during all our history, have 2 passions: fishing and like meat, source of proteins, and collecting like berries, mushrooms, or growing agriculture like crops to have plant food. I have one question for you about, because now we're talking about food.
Yeah.
And it's my specialty. What about your name? You see, your name is connected with food too.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is my name, Olga, is connected with food? How it sounds, Ollie, Holly or something. No? What do you think?
I want to say, like, I've never thought about it, but now I'm kind of like, it sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You're right, because in Western version, my name Olga in Ukraine or in Russian transcription, it means holy in Western style. But as for ancient Aryans who lived in Ukraine or where our modern Ukraine is located, it means that my name includes 2 parts, Ol and Ga. Ol means beer. Beer.
Yeah.
And Ga means movement, motion, act. So together to these particles we can like imagine that my name means young, fermenting, beer.
Yeah.
Honey and beer. So beverages.
That's good. In your communities and your nations, do you get multiple names over your lifetime? whereas in our cultures, we are gifted names throughout our different cycles of our lives, I guess. So like my English name that I was gifted during like birth was Honey. And I always ask my mom like why. She's like, you're just so sweet. And then as I got older and started to show my personality, my musha, my grandfather, he gifted me the name Pagachastumus.
Wow.
Pagachash.
Too complicated.
Yeah, it's really
Even
hard.
to repeat.
Yeah. But it translates to wild pony.
Wild pony.
Yeah. And we will get different names, whether they're gifted to you from like family members or community members or in ceremony. So you can get a name and it can be anything related to the world. But
do you agree that our names, sounds of our names, impacts on our life, on our mood?
yeah, I definitely think so. And one of our teachings too is like you connect to everything. Like we follow the natural law, which means everything in the world is connected. Everything has a spirit, including the plants, the animals, the winds, the rocks. And we're gifted our name based on how we fit into the world, but also we can draw strength from that. So especially when I was like feeling upset or lost anyway, I would always remember like my name, Pagachastumus.
What do you think? Which kind of plants can like give you happiness, a feeling of happiness? If we're talking about about ornamental or about medicine or about food plants.
Yeah.
What do you prefer?
I honestly feel like if people have the opportunity to connect with plants, all of them can bring happiness. Like for myself, I got a tattoo recently and it's of one of our plants. It's sage. So this one specifically is horse sage. So I feel connected to it because of my name, Wild Pony. But it's a woman's medicine. I don't think in the valley we have birch bark, but we have something similar. They're the poplars, those trembling aspens. If we look around right now, it's actually the ones that are lightly tilting, making that noise.
I see aspen. Yes.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is aspen. I know this tree.
Yeah, and I almost thought that was it at first, but the Cree name for that, the Nahiwin word for that, is Mitus.
Mitus.
Mitus. And that's my dad's last name. So we were named after this tree.
So as I can see, this aspen.
Yeah.
How it can be used by indigenous nation? What is the practical using of this?
Of course, wood was very important for building anything. But my favorite thing that we use it for is we can look at the leaves, and if we only see the silver bottoms, we know that a storm is coming.
Wow.
Yeah. It would warn us.
I didn't know about this feature, but I know that we have another phrase about aspen. It's like if someone is really scared, we can say trembles like an aspen in wind.
Oh, yeah.
Because of these leaves, they tremble a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So in our culture, it's connected with some fear. Someone is
Trembling.
yeah trembling.
That's a perfect description, because when they do tremble, you're just like, oh, something's happening.
And I know that this wood are not afraid of moisture. So you can use it for furniture creating or even for coffins.
I know this. Hopefully we can walk through the valley and I can show you a lot of different plants that could be used for food. I want to point out this plant real fast. So this is a smaller version of the trembling aspens, but you can really feel that not pollen, but the powder.
This is a powder.
Yeah.
So is it safe for our skin?
Yep.
Or even useful? No?
Yeah. This is what we would use for sunscreen before we had what we have today. But you would have to find it and do enough to cover yourself. There was one time I was teaching little ones about the tree, and I turned away for 1 second, and the little one had rubbed his whole hands and put it on his face.
I like do the seeing.
Yeah, yeah. So, exactly. So, great for
So
today.
soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll walk this way. There's lots of little places in the valley to look at.
Ah, you know a lot about this. What is your sources? Is it your knowledge from your indigenous nation, or this is from the university, or from your teachers, or from your professors?
Yeah, the knowledge that I have, I identify as Plains Cree from Sturgeon Lake First Nation, which is a Cree nation in Saskatchewan here. So I learned a lot from watching my grandmother, my kukum, and my mushum like harvest plants. As Indigenous people, we were subjugated to like blood quantum, but we don't choose that method for ourselves. It's whatever you identify as and whatever you practice. So growing up, I've been Indigenous all my life, but what that means is, and how I identify, is Plains Cree. So a lot of the teachings that I have are connected to being Plains Cree. These beautiful berries, they're called hawthorns. And this is the hawthorn bush.
Does it have acid taste? No?
No.
No. Can I eat it?
Yeah. So they are also known as like heartberries, but I wouldn't
know, it's
recommend.
like kizil in our culture. Kizil for jam making or even for wine making.
Yeah. And these guys were
For
used
hinges.
What's that?
For making hinges.
Yeah. Also fishing hooks.
Fishing.
So they're nice and strong, but they knew that these were strong enough to be used as fishing hooks or as awls to poke holes in like hide. But they knew they were strong because the small little bird would pick up prey like mice, fly above the bush and drop them. And then they get stuck on the pokey bits. But they're really like strong and they're beautiful, and usually there's more of them. So little small birds can hide in there and be protected. But that's one of my favorite plants in the entire valley. So we call them cattails. The fluffy bits, you can kind of see one kind of flowering over there. We were told, I've never personally tried it before, but my friend Jenny has, and she's a chef. She can harvest it, and then you can crush it down, and it kind of turns into flour. But the bottom, the root system, you can actually, I think it's the female part of the plant, you can roast it kind of like corn. The long blades of grass here, they can be weaved into a doll. So we have cattail dolls. One plant that I want to point out, but that's going to be harder to identify, but it's the plant that is this guy. So this is what we call red willow. Hold on, I'll take
Red willow.
Yeah.
I've got it.
If you bite on the bark, it has a compound in our bodies that we turn into aspirin, so like a pain reliever. So we used to give little ones like necklaces like this when they're teething, and that way they can kind of like relieve some of their pain. But it also smells really sweet when you first harvest it.
No, ancient Greek use it to treat their wounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Do they like scrape off the bark, or how do they
I don't
apply
know what was the method, but it was antique Achille, like hero from Greek, and he recommended to use it to treat their wounds.
I'm hoping you can kind of see already, but there's rose hips. Let's stop. We'll stop right here. So are you familiar with the insides of the rose hips?
Maybe, yeah, I know this. It's shipovnik, close to our plants shipovnik. We use it for tea making.
Yes, tea.
And for like medicine for treatment.
Yes.
To protect from a cold or flu.
Yeah. The berries are high in vitamin C.
Vitamin C.
Yeah. But I always like to warn people before they put them in their mouth. The inside, we also have another name for them. They're rose hips, but they're also called itchy bum seeds, or itchy bum like berries, because the inside of the berry itself has a bunch of tiny little hairy seeds, and if you don't know how to eat it correctly or dry it correctly, it can cause irritation all the way through. So that's how it got its second name. But the berries themselves, they're wonderful asset like to have in your pocket if you're harvesting, because you can eat them basically from now, as soon as they berry, all until next year, because they are gonna stay.
You can store it.
Yeah, you can pick them, you can store them, but then also they'll stay on the bush. They won't fall off until next year when the new plants grow. So it's a survival berry.
Garlic or onion, they have a lot of phytonutrients.
Yeah.
If we compare with lemon or with this shipovnik, they have a lot of vitamin C. So come back to garlic. So if you have Kinder Surprise, you can use this plastic egg, like plastic container. Please make a lot of holes and put chopped garlic inside. And with the rope you can wear, or kids, any kids, they can wear during the day, and to inhale constantly the garlic aroma.
Yeah, yeah.
So it can help to prevent this from this disease in winter. So it's very popular in Ukraine. It costs nothing, but it's really works.
Wow!
Yeah, it really works.
That actually reminds me of a summer plant, the rat root. Have you heard of it?
Rat root?
Yeah, rat root.
No.
It grows in the water, so like usually when you're harvesting it, you have to put bathing suit on and get in the water. But it's usually like somewhere in here. But similar to that, it's kind of like nature's halls. So it tastes horrible, but it works. You just take a small bit of it when it's dried and you chew on it, and it kind of like clears you up. And we call it also in our language wikis. So
to clean our mouth, to protect from bacteria, bacteria.
But also it's a medicine that helps us like get rid of sickness. So these is actually called wolf willow. The difference is, even though it's named wolf willow, it's not a true willow species. So if you chew on the bark, nothing will happen. But these usually have berries. And I'm kind of wondering if we'll find some.
Another plant, yeah? You see?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this one too much, but it's also called snowberry.
But this is different.
Yeah. But hopefully we'll find another one along the way, because these berries are actually powdery. So this is actually called buffalo berry. So
buffalo berry.
Yeah. These ones too, when the first frost happens, they get sweeter. I should have warned you it was tart.
But a little bit sweet, but also a lot of acid right now.
Yeah. You can tell the difference between the buffalo berry and the hawthorn berry that we saw earlier based on the hawthorns themselves, or the thorns themselves, and the berries. So these berries are a little bit more clear and they're smaller. The thorns here, earlier I mentioned that birds can like drop their prey, but these ones actually bend really easily. So you kind of know that this is the soap.
I like this taste.
Yeah. So you know that these are the buffalo berries. These also can, if you harvest them and put them in water and shake it, that foam can be used as soap, or you can freeze it and turn it into like ice cream.
And also, honey, except in biology and plants, I'm impressed a lot with indigenous culture, your customs of your nation, a lot of new knowledge for me. I'm excited a lot. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot.
I'm really happy to explore the valley with you and share these stories. The last thing I'll share with you, I guess, is in our language, we don't have a word for goodbye. We instead say see you later, because there's always a chance we can meet again. So the word is "wistas." We stas. Yeah.
We stas. See it again.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.